Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to the spring of 1945 to a small island in the Pacific that would become the stage for one of the most harrowing chapters of World War II. This is the story of the Battle of Okinawa. Before the war, Okinawa was a vibrant kingdom with its own unique culture, language, and traditions, known as the Ryukyu Kingdom. It was a peaceful place, a world away from the global conflict that was raging across the continents. But its strategic location, less than 400 miles from mainland Japan, made it an essential target for the Allied forces. Capturing Okinawa would provide a crucial airbase, a staging ground for the planned invasion of Japan itself. The Allies codenamed this monumental undertaking Operation Iceberg. On April 1st, 1945, Easter Sunday, the largest amphibious assault of the Pacific War began. Over 180,000 U.S. Marines and Army soldiers landed on the western coast of Okinawa. To their surprise, the initial landing was met with little resistance. The beaches were eerily quiet. It felt too easy, and this unsettling calm was just the prelude to the storm. The Japanese commander, Lieutenant General Mitsu Ushijima, had devised a brilliant and brutal defensive strategy. Instead of confronting the Americans on the beaches where Allied naval firepower was overwhelming, he had withdrawn his 110,000 troops to the rugged, cave-riddled terrain of southern Okinawa. He had turned the entire southern third of the island into a fortress of interlocking defensive positions, underground tunnels, and fortified ridges. His plan was one of attrition, to make the Americans pay for every single inch of Okinawan soil and blood. The American forces pushed south, and soon they ran headfirst into this formidable defensive line. The most infamous of these was the Shuri Line. Here, the fighting devolved into a brutal, close-quarters grind. Hills and ridges with names like Sugarloaf Hill, Hacksaw Ridge, and Kakazu Ridge became synonymous with unimaginable carnage. Each position had to be taken yard by yard, bunker by bunker, cave by cave. The Japanese soldiers fought with fierce determination, deeply entrenched in their positions. They used the complex network of caves and tunnels to their advantage, often re-emerging behind American lines to launch surprise counterattacks. The fighting was relentless, a nightmarish cycle of assault and counter-assault. U.S. troops faced not just machine gun fire and mortars, but also booby traps and desperate, last-ditch charges. The psychological toll was immense. The constant threat of enemy fire, the sight of fallen comrades, and the sheer exhaustion of continuous combat led to what was then called combat fatigue, now known as PTSD, on an unprecedented scale. While the ground forces were locked in this deadly struggle, a new and terrifying threat emerged from the skies. The Japanese launched massive waves of kamikaze attacks against the Allied fleet supporting the invasion. These divine wind pilots would deliberately fly their explosive-laden planes into American ships. Over the course of the battle, nearly 2,000 kamikaze missions were flown. They sank dozens of ships and damaged hundreds more, inflicting thousands of casualties and creating an atmosphere of constant dread for the sailors at sea. The sea around Okinawa became a graveyard of steel. But the greatest tragedy of the Battle of Okinawa was the devastating impact on its civilian population. Caught in the crossfire between two powerful armies, the Okinawan people suffered unimaginably. They were forced from their homes, caught in artillery barges, and used as human shields. Many hid in the same caves as the Japanese soldiers, often with tragic consequences. The battle resulted in the deaths of an estimated one-third of the island's civilian population, over 140,000 men, women, and children. It was a catastrophe that left a deep and lasting scar on the Okinawan people. After nearly 3 months of relentless fighting, on June 22, 1945, the battle was officially declared over. General Ushijima and his chief of staff, Lieutenant General Isamu Cho, committed ritual suicide rather than surrender. But pockets of resistance continued for weeks. The cost was staggering. The United States suffered over 49,000 casualties, including more than 12,500 killed or missing, making it the deadliest battle for American forces in the entire Pacific War. The Japanese lost over 110,000 soldiers. The sheer ferocity of the Battle of Okinawa, often called the Typhoon of Steel, had a profound impact on American strategic thinking. The incredible resistance of the Japanese soldiers, and the horrific casualties on both sides gave American leaders a chilling preview of what an invasion of mainland Japan would look like. The estimated cost of such an invasion was projected to be in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of lives. This grim calculation heavily influenced President Truman's decision to use the atomic bomb a few weeks later, hoping to force a Japanese surrender and avoid an even bloodier final battle. Today, Okinawa is a beautiful, peaceful island once again. But the memories of 1945 are preserved in numerous memorials and museums, like the Okinawa Prefectural Peace Memorial Museum. They serve as solemn reminders of the price of war and stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The battle's legacy is a complex one, a story of strategic victory, immense sacrifice, and profound tragedy. It underscores the importance of striving for peace, so that such devastation is never repeated. Thank you for joining me on this look back at the Battle of Okinawa. It's a difficult part of our history, but one we must remember. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more stories from the past. Let us know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to cover. Until next time, stay curious and never stop learning.